They suggest you give them a title too so they feel more important. Call them the water watchers. So have someone watching. You know, we live near a lot of water. A lot of people love to go to Lake Martin, Lake Jordan, and a lot of people head to the beach too. So it's important that we talk about the dangers and things to know as you're boating and you're out there with your teens. We're going to talk about that during our parent to parent segment during these summer months. A lot of folks going out there to keep safe. We're going to talk to Potential Magazine publisher Pam Mashburn and also from Palomar Plus Insurance. Jehle. Thank you both for being here with us. This is a very fun time, but it can turn from fun to danger really quickly.
Right, and especially when it comes to teenagers on the water because they are fearless and they feel like they know everything and we know nothing.
Yes.
So, but you know, we were looking at, I was talking to Dot, because the top 3 reasons that there are accidents or fatalities, according to the U.S. Coast Guard, is an operator being inattentive. Our teens would never be that. Inexperienced, which they are,
yes.
And then just an improper lookout. They're not paying attention to the person that's tubing behind them.
Yes.
And you know, here in Alabama, you can get your license, your boater's license at 12. So we've got 12, 13, 14 and up driving boats.
Wow.
Now they do have to have an adult with them until after 14, right?
That is correct. Ages 12 and 13 can operate a vessel with an operator's license as long as they have someone in the boat 21 years and older that also has a vessel license that is seated in a position that they can take over the boat if necessary.
Yeah, not on the tube.
Yes,
ready
they
to
have
drive.
to be in there ready to go. That
Right.
still scares me to death to
I
think
know.
that a child that young
And at
is
14.
able to operate a motor vehicle. That
Right.
is a motor vehicle, just like a car.
I know.
And it goes just as fast. So
And there's no lanes to stay within.
Exactly.
You know? So it is really important that out on the lakes, and we do hear about things happening out there. And you know, we were talking about, so then Dot and I were talking about the boater safety thing, but we were also talking about like, okay, so insurance for boats, you know, how does that work? Like, do we put our kids on there if they're 12 onto the insurance? How, you know, if you're going to be getting a boat, what would you need to know about that?
Well, when you do purchase a boat, you're going to call your agent and they're going to ask you a series of questions, and it's basically 3 categories. It's going to talk about the boat itself. It'll want to know the year, make, model, and how fast it goes, if it's an inboard, outboard. Where it's going to be navigated is important as well. Then it will focus on the operators of the boat, and they will want to know if all the operators are licensed, what their ages are, and if they have completed any safety courses. And because there's a credit for that as well for mom and dad if they've done U.S. Power Squadron, U.S. Coast Guard, or something like that. And then after that, the 3rd category is actually the coverage category, and that is how much the boat cost when you purchased it, because a company will not insure it for any more than what you've paid for it.
Well, you know, and what's interesting is Dot was telling me in Alabama, you don't have to have boater's insurance. Which is scary to me because of car insurance, we do have to have it.
Absolutely,
So
that's the law.
So not only do you have to watch out for your own boat, but you have to watch out for the other fella that might not have insurance.
So if you don't have to have insurance, then you don't have to add your children to it.
Well, but you can choose to either insure your boat for protection, which covers your children driving, or you can self-insure, meaning you're putting your personal assets on the line. You could lose your retirement, your savings for your college fund for your kids, your
not a good idea.
Any future income. So I think to insure is probably the best answer.
And what about other vehicles that are on the water, something like a jet ski or something like that?
It's the same situation if you want to insure or self-insure.
Because that's what I think about when I think about children that age as young as 12 and 13. Now, I could see them on a jet ski, and I could see why you would want to have them insured if they're going to be on one. But I just never thought about them being able to drive. Operate a boat.
Well, and a jet ski, a 14-year-old, as long as they're licensed, a 14-year-old can drive a jet ski. 12 and 13 would have to have somebody else there. But yeah, you've got jet skis, you've got all kinds of recreational vehicles out on the water. But I mean, sometimes when you're looking at insurance, you may want to insure your boat, but you may want to make sure you're insured in case the other guy doesn't have insurance.
No doubt about it. A lot of people have had a lot of fun so far this summer and had no idea about these things. But I imagine if that's a purchase that you're going to make, that's something you definitely want to look into if you're buying a boat that you want to definitely make sure.
Well, and one more thing we wanted to mention too, Tanya, is that the #1 cause of death in the water is drownings. And that happens mostly because kids are not wearing their life jackets. So we've really got to make sure that in that dark lake water that if somebody hits their head and they go down, you're not going to be able to see them. So they need to have life jackets on. Even though they don't want to do it when they jump off Chimney Rock, they need to have a life jacket.
So that's not a legal thing? You don't have to have a life jacket on if you're on a boat? Don't you have to have a life
if you're
jacket
less
for
than
everyone?
You do, but you don't have to be wearing it unless you're under a certain age. I think it's 12.
It is. And also, don't put them under the seat. Don't put them in plastic bags. If you're riding in a boat, make sure that they're out and accessible. So if your boat starts sinking rather, quickly, you can get to that vest and you can have it on. But you really, if you're going to take someone in your boat, including yourself, you need a life vest on.
And that's the thing about it. Most people worry about having fun, what's in the cooler. They don't think about whether they're insured or whether they have life jackets for everybody. So these are things that they really need to think about.
And then you can enjoy being on the water.
Yeah, and
that's
you don't
right.
have those things to worry about.
Exactly.
Look for Potential Magazine wherever teens and their parents are, and you can find it online.
PotentialMagazine.com. We'd love for you to go out there and check it out. We also have scholarship signups for Alabama students. So get out there. It's for 8th through 12th grade.
And all the information is here or either on the website.
That's right.
All right, Pam, it's always good to see you.
Yeah,
thank you so much. And you gave us a lot to think about. Thank you so much.